Welcome to ProgrammingKT. I am explaining about the concept is variables. So in last video, I already explained about what are the variables, why we can use variables and type of variables, how to declare a variable, how to initialize a variable and scope of the variables and finally memory allocation. So in this video, I am trying to explain some constants and modifiers applicable for variables and rules applicable for variables. So I can say here one more point I am trying to write like seventh point modifiers. So in that first let me start with static. So static we can apply, static is a keyword in Java. So when you are declaring variable with static, so that value, for that variable value will be, memory will be allocated for that static variable at the time of compilation. So most of the times we can use static variable for constant values, like, so I'm trying to declare pi value, like for that static data type name float pi. This is the variable name 3.14. So this value can't be changed, right? 3.14. So this is the constant. For declaring these kind of constant variables, we can use static keyword. So if we can declare variable as a static, so then we can call it as a static variable. Memory will be allocated for that static variables at the time of compilation phase. So next one will be the final. So if we can declare variable is final, so we can't change the value. So if you are trying to change that value, you will get compilation error. So final variable we can't update. So if the value is constant, it is recommended to make that value as a final. So in that case, static final float by 3.14. This is the recommended approach. So if I want to try to update this variable pi, 3.14 with something 2.14, I will immediately get error, compilation error. Why? Because we can't update final value, final variable value. So few more, the modifiers are also applicable, like volatile, transient, strict FP, these kind of things. When I'm explaining about multi-threading, serialization, in that case, in the topic, I will explain. So if I can explain about that concept here itself, you will confuse. That's why I'm trying to explain only two. The first one is static and second one is final. So if we can declare variable is a static, so to store constant values, we can use a static. Moreover, that we can make, if the value is constant, we can make that variable is final. So if we are trying to change that value, you will get compilation error. Now let me try to explain with text editor, Visual Studio Code. So here I already wrote, previous, video notes. What is the use of variables to store the data? Variables, we can store the data in temporarily, so we can store permanent data. So type of the variables, primitive variables and reference variables. Declaring variables, how to declare a variable? So this is called variable declaration and initialization. Third point is initializing variable. This is called initialization of a variable. So data type and variable name ends with a semicolon. This is called declaration of a variable, and this is called initialization of a variable. So moreover, that variable scope, we have two scope: global variable and local variable. So local variables have scope within that method only. So local variables means that is declared inside method. So for id variable, scope have, it must be within this method only. Like from 23 to, here I think from 23 to, yeah, 45, within that only I can access id, but I can't access outside of this method. Why? Because id has local scope. So age is a global variable, so I can access this age variable. So any method inside the class, inside variables example class. So that is the scope of variables, local scope and global scope. So next one is memory allocation. All primitive variables memory will be allocated in stack memory, and reference variables memory will be allocated in heap memory. So in this case, in this video, I'm trying to explain modifiers. So first one I am trying to explain is so static. So here I already declared. Let me try to declare one more variable. So static data type float. I'm trying to declare value as pi 3.14. So for doing some mathematical calculations, we can use pi, right? So I'm trying to declare that value. And if I need to end with f for floating values, so 3.14. So I will update this value as well. But that is not good programming practice, right? Why? Because pi value is remains same. So by chance we can update this value, there may be a wrong calculations will be happen. So to avoid that, we can make this variable as a final. Then when you are trying to update it, you will get compilation error. Now let me show you that. So I am trying to access s out. So pi. Now let me try to cd variables folder. I am trying to move into variables. So inside that, file name is java variable.java. So I got the value, pi value is 3.14. So if you want to, what happen if I want to update, we can update it, no problem. So to avoid that, final variable is come into picture. If instead of 3.14, I can update it 1.14. So now let me try to run one more time. If the developer by mistake he updated, wrong calculations will be, wrong result we will get. To avoid this, if it is constant value, we can make this as a final. So if it is final, then you will get compilation error immediately. Here, if we can observe here, the final field variable, pi cannot be assigned. Reassign is not possible. So that is the advantage of final. So we can't update it once you declare. Moreover, that static variables memory will be allocated at the time of compilation only. So this is the static and final. If it is final, we can't reassign. Static for declaring constant variables. So next one is I am trying to explain rules for declaring variables. Rules for declaring variables. So we have number of rules. You need to aware of that one by one. I will explain here. So first rule is variable must contains letters, digits, underscore, comma, dollar. So only these combination of variable name can be allowed. If you are trying to add any extra special character like hash at the rate, you will get compilation error. We won't allow, Java won't allow these kind of special characters. So variable name must contains letters, digits, underscore and dollar. Underscore and dollar, these are the two special characters allowed in at the time of declaring variable. This is the first rule we need to remember. So variable name must contains a letters, digits, underscore and dollar. Only combination of these four. If you are trying to declare variable with any other special character, you will get compilation error. Next one is variable name must begin with a letter. So variable must begin with letter or character. You can call it as a begin. So we can't start variable name with a digit. So if you are trying to declare variable name with a digit like 2, 4 or whatever it may be number, you will get compilation error. That is not recommend. That is one of the rule. Variable must start with a letter. Third rule is Variables are case sensitive. Variables are case sensitive means, so let me try to write some example here. Case sensitive means, so where I can instead of that name, these are the two different variable names. So here I declared lowercase, here I declared uppercase. So these are the two different variables. We need to aware of this. So variables are case sensitive means both uppercases it will compiler will treat like this is different variable, this is different variable. Even though it will be same right name and name, but compiler will treat like these are the two different variables. Next one is we can't use a reserved words. Reserved words can't use as variable name. So like we have reserved words means here if we can observe here, text editor already highlighting static int final float, static again public static string system out some different colors, right? So these are the reserved words of Java. Approximately you have 55 to 60 keywords and reserved words will be there that won't we can't use that as a variable name. Like let me try to declare here one variable. So here I'm trying to declare like how I can use any one meaningful. So let me take int. So for that int again I can't use instead of int boolean. Boolean equal to 10. So this is not recommended. So this is the reserved word of Java. So we can't use reserved word as a variable name. This is the one of the rule you need to remember. And the next one is no duplicates. So when you are trying to declare a variable, so all variables must be unique. If you are trying to declare same name with one more variable, you will get compilation error. Already declared something like that. Now let me try to show you one by one. About these five points. So first one is contains letters, digits, underscore, and a dollar. So for that, now I will start from here. So first variable constraint is first rule is contains so letters and a digit. Now here I can declare int. Let us say I am trying to declare variable is score and value is some 100. So this is the variable. So if I can add, contains letters, digits and underscore, right? If I can add underscore and more or score value from any depending on your requirement you can add it, but here I am trying to use underscore and dollar symbol. So if I can add any extra special character, so you will get compilation error. Here it is saying, right? So syntax error token invalid character. Invalid character means here hash is the invalid character. So that is the first rule. So variable name must contain letters, digits, underscore and dollar. So instead of that, you can declare one more some digit. See here, I didn't get any compilation error. In middle also, I can provide no problem. So variable name. This is the first rule about variables. Variable name must contain letters, digits, underscore, and dollar. So it does not contain any special character. And the second rule is must begin with a letter. Now let me show you that one as well. So this one only I can reuse. Must begin with a letter, right? So if I can start with score, so I will get compilation error. Why? Because so It variable name should start with a letter, not digit. This is the second rule. So here you will get compilation error, right? And the next one is variables are case sensitive. So let me try to declare that one as well. Third rule, score, and let me try to declare one more. So score. So these are the two different variables. If we can observe here, I did not get any compilation error. Why? Because these are the two different variables. So this is the rule about, variables must be case sensitive. Wrote that fourth one. So reserved words can't be used as a variable name. So here instead of int, I can use, if I can use boolean, so I will get compilation error. Why? Because variable names we can't use as a, reserved words we can't use as a variable name. So this is the rule about, reserved words can't use as a variable name. Next one is duplicates. So if I can declare score one more time, so I will get compilation error. Why? Because I already declared at line number 33. If I can declare one more time at line number 34, I will get compilation error, right? Duplicate local variable score. Variable name is score, right? So that's why you can say duplicate variables, no duplicates. Duplicate variables are not allowed. So I hope you got some clarity, rules about variables, and what are the modifiers applicable for variables. Anyway, I explained about two modifiers only, static and final. So we can explain, I will explain in future videos like public, private, protected, default, strict FFP, volatile, transient, these kind of things. But anyway, we are doing starting steps, right? So if I can explain about all that, other concepts related content, you will confuse. So when I'm explaining about serialization, I will explain about that is transient, and when I'm trying to explain about multi-threading, I will explain about volatile. So this kind of some internal, depending on some other concepts, some variables will be there. So at the time of explaining that concept, I will explain it. So I hope you got some clarity of variables. So if I missed any topic, regarding variables, if you want to know about that concept, make a comment in comment section. I will do, one more video on that missed concept. So I hope, thanks for watching. So if you like the content, hit on like button and subscribe Programming KT.